Okay, so the first question is, do you think it's still possible to be a multitasker? And I said that yes, I think it is still possible to multitask. One of the examples I thought of was I currently am working at Trail Club and I hostess there, and I'm constantly running tickets, adding up tickets, answering phones, and running credit cards all at the same time. So I think that is multitasking. And then the second question was, what about people that have to monitor several things at once, like a pilot? And so from the article that we read, it mentioned how people who often multitask are less sufficient in things than people who focus on one thing. So I'm wondering maybe if monitoring means that they are focusing on one thing, like a pilot is focusing on landing the plane, and that involves doing a lot of different things at once, but their main focus is on landing the plane. So maybe it's a different type of multitasking, or it's not considered multitasking. I wasn't really sure, but that's just one of the things I came up with. The third question was, how can a single teacher possibly handle 30 plus children in the same classroom if multitasking isn't possible? And for that, I am going into teaching, and for when I've had to go in and teach lessons in elementary schools for my fieldwork, as a teacher, you need to know what's going on around the classroom at all times, but you also need to have time where you're focusing on one student. So the multitasking is mostly having like a good classroom management and knowing, like, explain to your students how things should be done when you're not able to focus just on them. So having good classroom management skills and being able to trust your students to still get their work done, I think that's one of the things that would help students or would help teachers with multitasking, since they can't always be, because they are always doing multiple things, thinking about what's coming next. They have to prep themselves to know what's going to happen after an activity. But I think classroom management is a big way to help teachers with multitasking. And the last question was, what constitutes as multitasking? And I said um, multitasking consists of thinking of multiple things um, at one time. For example, when you're talking on the phone while cooking or doing homework, that would be something like you're talking and listening to that conversation while still doing something else. So to me, that is what multitasking is. So I'm not sure if that's exactly how the article mentioned it, but that's what I came up with.